I'm trying something a little different today, and I'm shooting from inside of my tiny house. Behind me here is my whiteboard, which is normally full of my goals and dreams. However, today we're going to use it to map out a path for financial success. I'm Craig, and if you're new to my channel, I'm a former financial coach and jack of all trades, and here we talk about skills that are going to be useful for the real world. I focus a lot on topics about money because I found when you have the financial resources, it can open a lot of doors to the other things that you're passionate about. The world could use some more passionate people right now with some resources behind some of their ideas. A quick reminder, I'm not a financial advisor, and this channel is for entertainment purposes only. Always do your own research before investing, and don't just listen to some random guy on the internet. Personal finance gets a little tricky, and there's so many different subtopics, it gets hard to decide where to start. Now, technically, there's no right and wrong answer to where to start. I mean, the key is just to start. That being said, I'm going to talk about what I think would be the ideal path based on my own personal experience. Now, when I refer to personal experience, I'm talking about the time I lost all of my money and had to rebuild my net worth from scratch. My net worth was literally negative $2,000 at that point, and I wanted to make my money back, and I wanted to make it back fast. The stuff I'm about to talk about is what I learned based on that experience. Whether we're just getting started in personal finance or if we're fixing our financial situation, the first thing I always start with is a bank account. I need a bank that is not charging me any fees, that pays a competitive interest rate so it can actually generate me some money, and has some good technology there where I can use it from an app where I have good access to my money. I have a whole video that shows how I shop for a bank account, and I'll link to that in the description below, so that'll help you find a good bank that does all of these things. Getting this squared away often stops the bleeding from our bank accounts. We might be paying a monthly service fee, we might be getting charged a lot of ATM fees, so finding an account that can stop having any of that money outflowing is going to be good for us. The other aspect of this that is super important is that interest rate. We need our money to be making money. That's one of our streams of income that's coming in. We can't just be depending on money from our job alone. We also need our money to be working for us too. The next thing we need is going to be a job. We need some form of income coming in. Whether that's a self-employed job or whether you're working for someone else, we need money coming in. We can't pay our bills or get out of debt if we don't have any income coming in to use to spend. One of the biggest mistakes I ever made in this area as far as the job goes was that I stayed in a job that did not pay me enough for far too long. I got caught in the trap of doing what you love, and I stayed in a job making barely over minimum wage for a long time. If I had worked another job where I was making money, like good money for a while, and had stacked up some savings, that money could have worked for me in the future. And then I could have worked the job that I was more passionate about because I would have had other income coming in through my investments. This is key. You can't stay in a job that doesn't pay well for very long. You have to be increasing your skills or getting promotions or going elsewhere to find a job that just pays more money. Now we need to focus on credit. Some financial professionals say that credit doesn't matter. And it is true that you can get through life without credit. However, it makes things much, much more difficult. If you learn how to use credit the right way, it can make things super easy. So why not add it to your arsenal? One of the first strategies we're going to use with credit is we're going to get a credit card and we're going to route all of our monthly bills through that card. So our water bill, our utility bill, our food bill, all of those bills we're going to put on the credit card, and then we're going to pay that card off in full by the end of the month. Now what that's going to do is two things. One, it's going to help us by building credit by establishing a payment history. The second is we're going to find a rewards credit card. So it's going to give us cashback rewards on that money that we just spent. I'm not saying that we're going to go spend money on all kinds of things just to get rewards and cash back. That's not how it works. This is money we were already going to be spending anyways, so we might as well get some cash rewards on that too. We have to be careful though of the credit card trap, because credit cards are so easy to swipe that it's hard to see how much you actually spend. So that's going to take us to the next step on our list here. So we have a good bank account now, we have a job, so our job is generating some income, that income is making money at our good bank account, we're paying our bills through a cashback credit card, so we're getting some extra cash back there, and the next thing that we want to do is establish a budget. We have all this stuff going on now, so now it's important for us to track. There's apps out there that make this really easy. So I use mint.com and it links to my bank account, my credit cards, all of that in one place, so I can see exactly how much I'm spending, exactly how much I'm saving, exactly how much is in my retirement account, all of those things all in one place. This is going to help with keeping an eye on these credit cards and making sure that that never becomes an issue. With an app like mint.com, I can establish what I want to pay in each of my monthly budgeting categories, and it will help keep me on track. I can even set up the app to give me some alerts if I'm establishing any bad habits. Now that we've established these main things, that's going to give us a little bit of breathing room, and we can start looking into the future a little bit more. So at this point, we're going to want to establish some financial goals. We want to know, what is it that we're saving for? What is the point of all this? Why are we saving? Why are we putting money away? Why are we trying to invest? We need to look into the future and think about future you. Because when you think of saving money, you don't want to think, oh, I'm depriving myself, because you're not. What you're doing is you're hooking up future you with a really good life. The financial decisions I made for myself 10 years ago, I still benefit from today. I'll joke about it sometimes when something pans out that I had planned for a decade ago, and I'm like, man, younger me hooked me up right now. One really good goal would be to establish an emergency savings account that had about $1,000 in it for if you had a flat tire or had some car issues that you needed to fix. That one thing alone, having an emergency fund, can eliminate a lot of financial stresses out there. If you need more direction on goal setting, I'll be doing a video on that too, specifically about accomplishing financial goals. I'll release that in the near future. Be sure to subscribe to this channel because you're not going to want to miss that one. The next step on this list is a really easy one. In fact, you can do it with one of these budgeting apps. And what that is you're going to start tracking your net worth. So for anyone not familiar with this term, net worth is just when you add up all of your assets, so things like your house, your car, your bank accounts, and then you subtract any liabilities. And liabilities would be things like a mortgage. It would also be things like your student loans. It could be debt on credit cards, anything that would be money coming out of your accounts. So again, we take our assets, we subtract our liabilities, and what we're left with is our net worth. The reason I like to encourage people to track their net worth is I find that is much more encouraging than looking at things like your savings rate or how much you owe as far as debt goes. Sometimes when you're paying down debt, it just feels like this impossible number that you aren't making any progress on. The cool thing about tracking your net worth is whether you're putting money in your savings account or whether you're paying down debt, this number goes up either way. So that gives you that positive reinforcement to really feel like you're actually doing some damage in a good way. The next thing we're going to do is set up a retirement account, preferably through our place of work. If you have a good job, odds are they offer a retirement plan. Usually this is referred to as a 401k. And you are going to want to set up an account there so that you have a bit of your monthly income going straight into that retirement account. One of the keys here deals back here with this budgeting. And when we have this job, we want to make sure that we budget for some of our money to go into that retirement. Now, when you get one of these jobs that actually pays decent money, it's easy to feel like a baller and feel like I'm just going to spend cash because I got money now. But the key here is not to spend all that cash. You want to actually be living on less than what you're making by a lot. As soon as you get that job, before you even start allocating money from that paycheck, you're going to want to put some money into that retirement account right off the top. That way you never even see it. It never even hits your bank account because it's going straight into that retirement account where it's going to work for you and generate money. Now remember, this isn't you going without. You aren't punishing yourself. It's not a negative thing. By putting money into this retirement account, you are hooking up future you to have a better life. So down the road, you're going to be like, man, I'm so glad I made that decision because that money in that account is going to grow. It's going to grow for you. So just like when you're at work making money, that money is making money. So the two of you together are going to work as a team. The easiest way to do this one is to make it automatic. So you have an automatic amount coming out every month going straight into that account. Here's the crazy part. If you can get yourself to the point where you can put away about $150,000 by age 35, you could never put money in that account again, and it could potentially grow to over $1 million by the time you went to pull that out at retirement. Now, I'm not recommending that, but it's still cool to know that you could do that. So I have a whole video about that concept in the description if you want to know more details about it. Our finances are starting to look really good. We have a bank account that's paying some interest and making us some extra money on the side. Our job, we've upgraded, so now we're making more money and we have access to a retirement program through our company. We're using our credit cards to pay our bills every month, and that's giving us extra money and cashback rewards, and it's helping us establish credit history when we pay these off in full every month. We have a budget, and we're using a budgeting app like Mint to help us keep an eye on our credit cards and on stuff like our net worth. We've established our goals, and so we have a clear picture and understanding of why we are going through this process and why it's important to be good with our finances. We're tracking our net worth, which is giving us positive reinforcement. Even if we're paying our bills down, we're seeing that number go up. Then we're putting money automatically every month into our retirement account, typically our company's 401k. The last thing we're going to talk about in this video is this. Give it time to work. You put some time into this, you trust the process, and I can tell you from experience, this is going to set you up for success in the future. I hope you found this video helpful. I know I just kind of scratched the surface on a lot of these topics. However, that's because on my channel, you'll find in-depth tutorials on everything I talked about here today. Please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more content like this.